afternoon to all of you. And I hope some of you can just take a short break and just check in with me quickly. We have our normal Reflections live talk every Friday at 1 o'clock, and it's normally between 1 and 2. And of course, today I was a little bit delayed, but I'm glad that I was able to connect with you via Facebook Live. So today we're going to be talking about breaking through the barriers. So I'm sure some of you have seen some of the posts that we've shared with you, today and over the last few days, talking about taking action and, of course, also overcoming barriers that are trying to hold us back. So this is really what we're going to be talking about today. So I want us to start by just looking at some of the barriers that generally hold people back. So what are some of those barriers? And I'm going to be sharing a list with you of some of the barriers that have been identified, in different workshops, some that I have done. But of course, these are generally barriers that most people find hold them back in terms of trying to move their goals forward. So let's just look at some of the barriers first. And then what we're going to do after that is then I'm going to talk you through some of the influencing factors to success. And then, of course, I'm going to be sharing some of my secrets to success with some of you. But let's look at some of the barriers that generally hold people back. So fear is considered to be a barrier. So people sometimes share. In fact, this week I had some business coaching sessions, and some of the online students were sharing with me that some of the reasons why they've not been able to move their business goals forward is because of fear. So fear is holding them back in terms of moving some of those goals forward. Also, lack of knowledge. So people have also said that lack of knowledge generally holds them back from moving their goals forward. And then, of course, also I'm sure many of you have heard of lack of financial resources. So people have also shared that lack of financial resources generally hold them back. So this then also becomes a barrier. And then, of course, lack of experience. So depending on what strategy you are wanting to pursue, whether it be business, whether it be property, whether it be any other investment strategy or business venture, these are some of the things that generally hold people back. It's fear, it's lack of knowledge, and it's lack of finances that we've discussed so far. And welcome to all of you that have joined me now. So we're talking about, for those of you who've just joined, we're talking about the barriers that generally hold people back from, achieving great success in their lives. And we're going to be looking at some of those barriers. And then also what has been shared is lack of experience, lack of confidence, lack of self-belief. So in fact, a lot of people also have a lack of self-belief, and that is what also holds them back. And then, of course, I'm sure many of you have heard of procrastination. So that's another influencing factor in failure, or that's another barrier that generally holds people back from achieving great success. And then, of course, the list continues. So these are just some of the influencing factors, to failure or barriers that hold people back from moving forward. So I'll just list them for you again. So it's fear, it's lack of knowledge, it's lack of financial resources, lack of experience, lack of confidence, and then also lack of self-belief, procrastination, and then, of course, the list goes on. Now, I just want to share some insights with you. So just some insights from my side, as I'm reflecting and sharing with you all today. So I found in my experience that generally where there's fear, there is a lack of knowledge. Fear is normally there because of the unknown. So when we're about to move into a new strategy or into a new business venture, I have found that in my experience, the reason why I generally have a little bit of fear or anxiety in the beginning is because I'm entering unknown territory. So that means that, there's a little bit of anxiety around that particular business venture or investment strategy, whatever it is that I'm trying to pursue. Okay, but I've also realized that, with experience as well, that fear is really trying to hold us back. And one of the ways to really overcome fear is to make sure that we get the right level of knowledge. And I found in my experience as well, when I get the right level of knowledge as far as, that particular investment strategy is concerned, let's say, for example, property. In the beginning, there was a lot of anxiety, a lot of not knowing, what is the best way forward. I really wanted to become successful in the areas of property, but, I made some mistakes in the past. And of course, there were some things that were holding me back in terms of moving forward. But then I realized that, as I was developing myself, as I was educating myself, equipping myself in the areas of property investing, I realized that, the more knowledge I gained, and of course, the more experience I gained, it seemed like the fear just started moving away and it just started disappearing altogether. So fear is normally there because of a lack of knowledge, and it's also there because we generally need knowledge in order to help us overcome some of that. And then of course also that when you get the right level of knowledge, you will see it will also start addressing the lack of confidence that we generally feel. So I'm talking to entrepreneurs here, I'm talking to aspiring entrepreneurs, I'm talking to investors or aspiring property investors. You are my audience today, and I'm talking to you, and these are some of the barriers that we generally find as we're trying to move our business goals forward, as we're trying to move our property goals forward, and of course as we're trying to move our financial goals forward. And then another thing that I want to share with you is that procrastination is considered to be the biggest influencing factor in failure. And really, ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time that when you have now received all the knowledge and you have received all the information that you need, there comes a time that we need to take action, because no action, no results. So we can't go through 2020 and 2021 expecting better results this year compared to last year or the year before that if we're doing the exact same thing or if we're not even doing anything. So that means that there comes a time when we have to do more, or we have to take action in order to move our goals forward. So I just want to encourage some of you today, that these are some of the influencing factors in failure or barriers that we need to overcome as we're moving our goals forward. But I want to encourage you to start looking at the positives and start looking at ways of how you're able to actually move some of those goals forward. Now, let's just look at some of the influencing factors for success. Okay, so let's look at some of the influencing factors for success that have been identified. And number one is vision. So you need to become a person of vision. What does that mean? That means that you need to receive a vision for your life. The Bible says that, where there's no vision, my people perish. Another translation says that we run wild. So that means that without a vision, we will be all over the place. We will have no focus. And of course, it means that it will eventually be the end of us. So it's so important for us to have vision. So for those of you who maybe have given up on your dreams, have given up on your goals, I encourage you start dreaming again and start visualizing, your future again. And one way to do that is by, starting a dream wall or a vision board. So this is where you find words and pictures that represent your main goals and your main dreams, and you put them out there. You put them on a vision board or a dream wall. And this is one of the ways in terms of how we're able to, actually achieve great success as far as our dreams are concerned. And then of course knowledge, and as I mentioned in the previous talk about the influencing factors to failure, it's so important for us to make sure that we get the right level of knowledge. So look at where you are today, look at where you want to be, and then what knowledge or skills do you have to acquire in order to get you to your destination. And that's really where knowledge plays a critical role. And of course creativity. As entrepreneurs, we've really had to become creative over the last couple of months. It's been so important for us to become creative, more innovative in terms of how we're able to connect with our target audience, in terms of how we're able to deliver on our services, deliver on our products. So that also becomes very important. It's so important to become, creative in difficult times. And I've also found that one of the ways to also become more creative is to surround yourself, with the right people, with positive people, with people who are more successful than you, to listen to some of these people and hear what they're doing, to attend masterclasses, courses. There's so many different online material that one's able to tap into. And as you spend time reading more, really listening to some of these experts and professionals and successful people that are out there, then it also becomes an opportunity for us then to learn, and also it starts sparking some of those creative juices, and then we come up with new ideas and ways on how we're able to move some of our business and our financial goals forward. And then of course commitment is so important. So this is an influencing factor, towards great success. We're going to have to be committed, we're going to have to be determined, and we're going to have to be dedicated as we move move our business and our financial goals forward. So that means that we need to stay the course. We can't give up, on our goals and our dreams. We have to make sure that even when it gets tough, we have to make sure that we remain resilient and we remain tough. And of course, we find ways to overcome those challenges that we are facing. And I'm going to be sharing with you some more insights as we move along. And then, of course, the willpower to succeed is so important. And as you can see, a lot of these traits or qualities that I'm sharing with you actually reside in the mind. Isn't that so? So all of that is really, I think for me, it resides in the mind and also in the heart, So I do believe that the mind is fueled by the heart. So it's important also, what you get into the heart. The Bible says that what the heart is full of, the mouth speaks. So that means that whatever we are absorbing, whatever we are allowing to come into our heart, and it comes through our mind and our thoughts, we need to make sure that we are getting some good information in that will be able to actually come out of the mouth. And as we speak those things, we will start seeing them manifest in our lives. And then, of course, also I want to encourage you, start also believing in yourself and believing in your goals. So if you have big goals and big dreams, don't allow other people to hold you back. Believe in your goals, and it's okay not to have everyone support you as far as your dreams are concerned, because not everyone is going to support you on your journey to success. Why? Because that dream was not given to them. That dream was given to you. So there's a reason why God birthed that particular dream in your heart. So whatever it is today, whether it's a business dream or whether it's a personal dream, whatever it is, you're not always going to have the right level of support. So it's important to know that it's okay if everyone's not going to support you in terms of moving your dreams forward, because that dream was not given to them. So as long as you believe in your dreams and as long as you stay committed and you stay the course, you will eventually see that dream manifest in your life. And then I also want to talk to you about the importance of building good relationships, building good connections. It's so important for us to make sure that we continue expanding on our network and continue surrounding ourselves with the right people, with positive people, people who are more successful than us. And if you are the most successful person in your group today, you need to get out of that group. Why? Because you have just reached maximum potential. That is the furthest that you can go. They say that we are the average of the top 5 people that we spend the most time with. So it's important for us to make sure that if we want to, continue increasing, continue achieving our goals, we need to make sure that the people that we surround ourselves by are in fact more successful than what we are. And of course, we're always there to help other people and to lift them up and to encourage them on this journey towards, achieving our dreams and our goals. But it's important for you to make sure that you surround yourself with the right people. So if you start hanging around millionaires, what's going to happen? You're going to become a millionaire. If you start hanging around broke people all the time, what's going to happen? You're either going to stay broke or you're going to become broke. So it's so important for us to make sure that we surround ourselves, with the right people. And then, of course, I also want to say to you that, on your journey towards great success, sometimes we're going to have to become a lot more flexible, and I have really had to learn this along my journey. Because I'm generally someone, I like to have things, done in a certain way, and I like to move things forward in a certain way. But I've had to learn over the years, as far as my business journey is concerned, I've had to become more adaptable, more flexible, not just to my surroundings, but also to my target audience, also to my industry, what's happening around me in terms of the economic climates. I've had to become a lot more flexible and a lot more adaptable, as an individual. So I think that's important for us as well. If something is not working, and if it hasn't been working for a long time, then it means that we need to start, re-strategizing, finding new ways of how we're able to move those business goals forward. So that's so important. And then the last thing that I also want to share with you as far as influencing factors are concerned is that it's also so important for us to have compassion. Because I found that, when we have compassion for other people and compassion for one another, it also just helps us, to become more successful. Because when we really start looking at clients, from their perspective and not just from our perspective, that's showing compassion. You're putting yourself in your client's shoes and you are trying to understand what their frustrations are, what their concerns are, what their challenges are, and then seeing how you as a business, how you actually able to help them, in that particular situation, because our businesses are ultimately here to solve problems. We are here to bring solutions forward. We are also here to bring value, to our customers and to our clients. So it's so important for us to also have compassion and really understand, where our customers and our clients are coming from in terms of their situations and maybe some of the challenges that they're facing today. And let's find win-win situations, win-win situations that will benefit not only our customer, but that will also benefit us. And when we become more creative and we become more innovative, we are then able to find some good solutions that will work for both parties. So I'm just encouraging you also, just to have a little bit more compassion, and especially during these difficult times. We need to have more compassion and find ways of how we're actually able to move forward. And sometimes it means that you will need to become a little bit more flexible on your payment terms, or sometimes it means that you need to become a little bit more flexible, as far as delivering your services are concerned or your products. So we're going to have to become flexible and adaptable in order to move our business and our financial goals forward. So that's just a few things that I wanted to share with you. And then what I also just want to share with you as part of today's reflections is that I want to just share with you, lastly, some of my secrets to success and how I've been able to achieve the level of success that I've achieved to date. Of course, some of you know me, you've heard my story before. I'm not necessarily going to go into that today, but of course, you're welcome to connect with me on my website on www.candicevanwyk.com, and you would be able to, also engage with me via that platform and also understand my story and my journey a lot better. But just to give you some of my secrets to success, how I've been able to really achieve, the success that I've achieved to date and how I continue to move my goals forward. And I will tell you that my number one tool that I use, I started using it in 2011 and I'm still using it up to date, is a vision board. So it is a dream wall. So put a dream wall in place if you do not have one. If you have one, make sure that it's updated, that it stays relevant. Put all your dreams and your goals out there. It doesn't matter how big or how small they are, you put them out there. And you put your dream wall in a place where you are able to see it all the time. And every time you walk past your dream wall, I want you to say this to yourself: my dreams are possible. My dreams are possible. So that's what you say to yourself every time when you walk past that vision board. Now, I shared with you earlier already that the Bible teaches us that it's so important to have a vision, because where there's no vision, my people perish or my people run wild. So that tells me that we need to have a vision. I can't tell you how many of my dreams have come to pass already, just because I've put it out there, put it on my vision board. And, as I achieve my goals, I actually have a book that I call a book of remembrance. And that's where I put all my achievements and all my dreams that have come to pass. I put it into that book. And then I just start adding more pictures and words of my new dreams and my new goals. Why? Because sometimes when we get discouraged on this journey of life, it's nice to remind myself, that. And I encourage myself by looking at that book of remembrance of how many dreams have come to pass. So it's so important. If we want to continue achieving our goals and be successful, we need to always work on our visions boards and make sure that, that board remains relevant. And then, of course, also, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to share with you today. So a lot of the barriers, a lot of the influencing factors to failure are all in the mind. So it's so important to destroy negative beliefs in order for us to move forward and achieve our goals. And how do we destroy negative beliefs? We destroy negative beliefs by replacing them with positive beliefs. And how do we replace them with positive beliefs? By renewing our mindset, by renewing our thinking. So it's so important for you to make sure that you spend time reading positive material, reading the Bible, reading books that can help you further develop and grow, as an individual, but also in business and any other investment strategy that you are pursuing. So it's important for us to make sure that we are continuously renewing our mindset to positive material and positive ways of how we're able to move our goals forward. That's the only way that we are able to destroy negative beliefs, is by replacing it with positive beliefs. And one way that I would also encourage you how to do that is to actually spend time reading about 30 to 40 pages a day. So spend time reading positive material, 30 to 40 pages of positive material, information that can empower you, that can equip you, and that can help you move forward. And also be careful what you listen to. I've reached a stage where I listen to the news occasionally. Why? Because there's so much of negativity, and I don't want to surround myself with the negativity all the time. So what I do is I also selectively choose what I listen to. And I'm always trying to, put positive material into my mind, feed my mind with positive, even positive videos. And of course, as I said, also spending time reading positive content. So that's how we are able to renew our minds and destroy those negative beliefs. So all of those negative beliefs that I've just mentioned to you now, you need to start by renewing your mindset and renewing your thinking. If you can change your thinking, ladies and gentlemen, you will change your life, because this is where it all starts. It starts with the thinking, and it starts with the mindset. The Bible says that as a man thinketh, so is he. So it's important for us to make sure that we are continuously renewing our mindset and our thinking. And then also, another secret that I want to share with you is that you need to assess your current situation. So in business or in your finances, and I know some of you have been impacted negatively, some of your businesses are not doing that well, some of you have lost your income. Assess where you are today and really look at that current situation. So where are you today? Where do you need to be, and where do you want to be? So the first step is that let's first focus on where we need to be, and then, of course, where we want to be, because that now becomes the desire, that becomes the bigger dream. So it's important for you to assess your current situation, to assess your current financial situation, and then understand, what the gap is. And then you now need to find plugins. You need to find strategies and new ways that will now help you to achieve your next destination. So in order for you to get to that next destination of, replacing your income or generating additional income or growing your business, you now need to find the plugins that will be able to help you as far as that journey is concerned. And then, of course, set goals for yourself, because if you don't set specific goals for yourself in terms of how you're now able to achieve that next destination, then, you're just going to be all over the place. So now you need to prioritize it even a little bit further, and you need to start setting good goals for yourself. Set short-term goals for yourself. I have daily goals, I have weekly goals, I have monthly goals, quarterly goals, per annum goals, and then even beyond that, it goes on to 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and so it continues. So it's important for us to make sure that we really focus on goal setting, and we've spoken about goal setting before, but if you want more insights in terms of goal setting, then I would suggest go into my reflections blog on my website on www.candicevanwyk.com, and then, of course, you'd be able to get some information as far as goal setting is concerned. So go and read that article, and you'll be able to see how you are able to successfully set your goals and move them forward. And now that you have your goals in place, now you start putting an action plan in place. So you've already identified what the gaps are, where you need to be. You are now putting goals in place. And then once you have your goals in place, now you need to really formalize it and put it into an action plan in terms of how you're going to be executing against those goals, where you now start putting in place tasks that you need to now do in order to achieve those goals. Okay, and some of it will include developing yourself in certain areas, growing your knowledge base, growing your experience, and of course, that's going to help you achieve some of your goals. But it's important for you to make sure that you put a clear action plan in place, because if you do not have an action plan, that goal is just a wish. So it's important to make sure that you also have a clear action plan, a clear strategy in place that is going to help you achieve that goal. And then remember, another secret that I also want to share with you is that it's so important that, on this journey towards achieving our goals and our dreams, we have to actively pursue the right level of education that's going to help us. So there's so many opportunities out there to learn and to develop ourselves, and we can't be all over the place. So you have to make sure that you maximize your time, so that you're able to produce maximum results. So you can't be just focusing on everything that is out there, because there's so much of information. There's I don't know if we can even say an ocean of information out there. And that means that, if we don't have focus, we're eventually going to be drowning as part of that particular journey. So it's important for us to make sure that we tap into the right level of education and information that can help us move our goals forward, and make sure that we're always taking action, towards achieving our goals. And if you fall down, just get back up again, and you just start again, and you start moving your goals forward. And then also speaking positive words over our situations, our circumstances. So wherever you find yourself, I want to encourage you to speak positive words. I have positive declarations that I make over myself, over my businesses, over my finances, over my family. So it's so important for us to continue speaking positive words. It doesn't matter what's happening around us. Sometimes I have such hectic days or busy days, but I will never say I'm having a busy day. I'll rather say I'm having a productive day, because I understand the power of words. And if I keep saying I'm having a busy day, I will always have a busy day. So it's important for me to make sure, that I use positive language and positive words. So, because ultimately what I am speaking, life and death is in the tongue, and what I speak will manifest in my life. So it's so important for me to carefully select my words. So I'm also encouraging you out there, whatever your financial situation is, don't talk the negative. Don't speak the negative over your situation, but rather speak positive words over your situation and say that you are moving, you have a new job, or you have new customers, you have, additional income, you are finding new ways to generate income. Find your declarations and personalize them and speak them out every morning as you get ready for your day. Already start declaring and speaking those things over your situations and over your circumstances. And then also so important for us to ignore red lighters. And who are red lighters? Negative people. People who always have something negative to say. And sometimes those people are in our friendship circles and in our family circles, but it's so important for us to make sure that, we stay away from negative people. And I know we can't always get away from them because they may be family and friends, but of course we can choose to spend less time with them. And of course this lockdown has contributed positively from that perspective, because it's given us an opportunity, to stay away from the naysayers, the red lighters, the negative people. I promise you, when you hang around negative people, eventually it's going to influence your mindset and your thinking. So you want to stay away from those people. Spend as little time as possible with them, and rather find new people, positive people, new relationships, that will add to your life and benefit you instead of taking away from you. And I think that also becomes important as we're moving our goals forward and as we're moving our dreams forward. And then, of course, also the last thing that I want to share with you is that also it's so important, to surround us, or second last thing, surround ourselves with positive people and like-minded people. And I'm sure many of you have heard the saying that our network equals our net worth. So it's so important for us also to make sure that we surround ourselves, with like-minded and positive people, and people who are more successful than us, because that's another way for us to grow and achieve our goals in acceleration. And I think I've really emphasized, this particular point throughout my talk today. And then finally, the last thing that I want to say to you is that, find a mentor or a coach, someone that is doing what you want to do, and not just doing it, but they're doing it successfully. And someone that you are able to copy, as far as that particular journey is concerned. And I can tell you, I have 4 active mentors in my life today that I am spending time with for different areas of my life. And I'm talking about, these are people that I have one-on-one sessions with, online sessions with, and focusing on different areas as far as my development is concerned. And then I also have other mentors and coaches that I have found online, and that I'm tapping into on a regular basis. I'm listening to what they're saying. I'm listening to their guidance, to their insights, and I'm using that information to also help me to further develop so that I can continue achieving success, in the different areas that are important to me. So it's important for you to also find a mentor and a coach, because this is another way that's going to help us achieve our goals and acceleration. So of course you can go out there and try and do it on your own, and see how long it's going to take you and how many mistakes do you have to make in order to reach your destination. So I prefer and I choose to learn from people who have made the mistakes, and I'm able to then avoid some of those mistakes, and of course then I'm able to achieve my goals in acceleration. And that's really what it's all about. And of course, it really becomes an opportunity, as I say, to also develop and to grow yourself. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for those of you who have connected with me. So for those of you who didn't get the full talk for today, you would be able to then, of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You would be able to listen to it later. And of course, you'd be able to listen to it from my social media platforms as well. So it was really good connecting with you all today. And as part of my reflections, I really just wanted to share with you the barriers that we currently face, because I believe it's important to know them, to recognize them, and to acknowledge them. And then, of course, to find ways on how we are able to overcome some of those barriers and start focusing on the positive and the influencing factors that help us to achieve these our goals and our dreams. So I think that's so important in today's time. So thank you for checking in with me. If you do have any questions, if you do have any comments, please do share it with me in the chat box. I would be happy to connect with all of you. You're even welcome to share them afterwards, after this live chat, and I would be happy to really, just engage with all of you. But thank you for your day. God bless you. And remember, pursue your dreams and you will love your purpose. Thank you, everyone, and God bless you.